Joseph and his brothers. Part 1. The Dreamer. Good evening, dear listener. As you settle into stillness tonight, let your thoughts become soft, like sand after sunset. Let your heart quiet, and your breath drift slowly in and out. Tonight, we journey to a land of tents and stars, to the story of Joseph, the dreamer. He was the son of Jacob, a man who wrestled with angels, a man who loved deeply and carried a past full of promises. Joseph was the 11th of 12 sons, but to Jacob he was the favorite. Born in Jacob's old age, to the wife he had loved most. And because of that, Joseph was treated differently. One day, Jacob gave him a gift, a robe. Not just any robe, but one with many colors. Bright, flowing, special. When Joseph wore it, he stood out, and his brothers noticed. They saw the love their father gave him. They saw the robe, they saw his smile, and inside their hearts, something began to grow. Jealousy. But Joseph didn't see it. He had dreams. One night, he dreamed they were out in the field, binding sheaves of grain. And suddenly, his sheaf stood tall, while the others gathered around and bowed. He told them this dream, wide-eyed, unfiltered, and they hated him for it. Another night, another dream. This time, the sun, moon, and 11 stars bowed to him. Even Jacob raised his eyebrows, but he remembered the dream, tucked it away. Joseph, the boy with the robe and the dreams, did not know what was coming. Let that rest with you. Sometimes, dreams begin as wonder, but they grow through struggle. Part 2. Betrayed by blood. The days pass. The fields stretch wide. The brothers work under the sun, but Joseph stays behind. One morning Jacob sends him, "Go, check on your brothers, see how they are." Joseph nods, ties his robe and walks. He doesn't see the danger. He doesn't hear the bitterness in their voices as they see him coming from far away. "Here comes the dreamer," one says. Their words grow sharp. "Let's kill him, throw him in a pit. Say a wild animal took him." But Reuben, the eldest, speaks softer. "Don't kill him. Just put him in the pit." He plans to come back later, to save Joseph quietly. So when Joseph arrives smiling, trusting, they grab him, tear the robe from his shoulders. That beautiful robe, the one that made him shine. They throw him into a dry pit. Cold, dark, empty. And then they sit down to eat. A caravan approaches, traders from far away, heading to Egypt. And Judah has an idea. "Why kill him?" he says. "Let's sell him." So they pull him from the pit, sell him for silver, and watch as Joseph is taken away. The dreamer is now a slave, a boy carried off by strangers into a future he cannot see. And the brothers, they take his robe, dip it in animal blood, and bring it to their father. "We found this. Is it your son's?" Jacob sees it, and he breaks. "My son is gone," he cries. "I will mourn until I join him in the grave." And Joseph is gone. But the dream is not over. Let that truth rest gently with you. Sometimes the darkest turns are not the end, but the beginning of something deeper. Part 3. A slave in Egypt. The sun rises over Egypt. Golden light spills across stone buildings, temples, palaces, and markets buzzing with life. Among the crowd, Joseph, sold alone, 17 years old. He is taken to the house of Potiphar, an official of Pharaoh, captain of the guard. Joseph begins with the lowliest tasks: sweeping, carrying, cleaning. But something is different about him. He works with care, with heart, and Potiphar notices. He sees that everything Joseph touches succeeds, so he gives him more and more. Soon Joseph runs the whole household, not with pride, but with calm, with steady hands and clear eyes. But with success comes attention and temptation. Potiphar's wife watches him. She tries to draw him in, but Joseph refuses. "Your husband trusts me with everything," he says. "I will not betray him. I will not sin against God." Still she persists, and one day she grabs his cloak. He runs, leaves it behind. She holds it, twists the story, and tells Potiphar, "He tried to harm me." Potiphar believes her, and Joseph is taken, again, from freedom to a pit, from trust to prison. But still, God is with him, even in the shadows, even when no one sees. Let that stay with you tonight. The world may throw you down, but your worth does not vanish. Your story does not stop. Part 4. Dreams in the darkness. The prison is cold. Stone walls, iron bars, no color. But Joseph doesn't complain. He works. He helps. He stays steady. And once again, those around him notice. The prison warden trusts him, gives him charge of the other prisoners. Joseph finds purpose, even here. Then one night, 2 new prisoners arrive, the cupbearer and the baker of Pharaoh himself. Each of them has a dream. Strange, vivid, unsettling. They wake confused. Joseph sees their faces. "Why are you troubled?" he asks. They tell him their dreams, and Joseph listens, carefully. Then he speaks. Interpretations belong to God. To the cupbearer, "In 3 days you'll be restored." To the baker, "In 3 days you will be executed." And it happens exactly as he said. Before the cupbearer leaves, Joseph says quietly, "Please, remember me. Speak to Pharaoh. Help me get out of here." The cupbearer nods, promises, but once free, he forgets, and Joseph remains. Days turn into weeks, weeks into years, and still he waits. But he doesn't stop hoping. He doesn't stop trusting, because even in the silence, God is still near. Let that truth rest with you. Even when nothing moves, you are not forgotten. Even in the quiet, your name is known. Part 5. Pharaoh's Dream. 2 years pass. Joseph waits. No message, no release, only silence. But then Pharaoh dreams, strange dreams, heavy with meaning. In one, 7 fat cows rise from the Nile, followed by 7 thin ones that devour the fat, but stay thin. In another, healthy heads of grain are swallowed by dry, wind-blown stalks. Pharaoh wakes troubled. He calls for magicians, wise men, but none can explain the dreams. Then the cupbearer remembers. "There was a man in prison. He interpreted my dream, and it came true." Pharaoh sends for Joseph. He's brought quickly from stone and chains to sunlight and gold. He shaves, changes his clothes, stands before the most powerful man in the land. Pharaoh speaks. "I heard you can interpret dreams." Joseph answers, "I cannot, but God can." Pharaoh tells him both dreams. Joseph listens. Then he speaks. The dreams mean the same thing. 7 years of abundance are coming, followed by 7 years of famine. God has revealed this to you so you can prepare. Pharaoh looks at him, impressed. He turns to his officials and says, "Can we find anyone like this man, in whom is the Spirit of God?" And just like that, Joseph is lifted from prisoner to ruler, second only to Pharaoh, trusted with everything, because of a dream, because of faith, because of patience. Let that settle in you. Even when doors stay shut, your moment can come. Even after years in silence, your name can be spoken in light. Part 6. From Famine to Favor. The years unfold just as the dream said. 7 years of plenty, fields full of grain, storehouses bursting. Egypt prospers, and Joseph oversees it all, with wisdom, with order, with peace. He walks through the cities, he watches the harvests, he prepares, because he knows famine is coming. And when it does, everything changes. The rains stop, the fields dry up, the grain disappears. But Egypt is ready. People come from all nations, hungry, desperate, and Joseph opens the storehouses. He feeds them, he saves them. And among the travelers, a group of men arrive from a distant land, dusty, tired. 10 brothers, hungry, they bow before him, not knowing who he is, not knowing they bow to Joseph. The dream from long ago, the sheaves, the stars, begins to come true. Joseph sees them, recognizes them, but they don't know him. He speaks in a different tongue. He watches, he tests, not to hurt, but to understand. Are they the same? Do they regret? Can trust be rebuilt? Joseph hides his emotions, but his heart is full. Memories flood in, the robe, the pit, the betrayal, yet here they are. Let that sit gently in your mind. Sometimes the ones who hurt you come back not to harm, but to heal. Part 7. The Hidden Brother. Joseph watches his brothers closely. Their faces are older, their shoulders carry more weight. But one face is missing. Benjamin, his younger brother, his mother's only other son, so Joseph tests them. He speaks harshly, accuses them of being spies. They protest. "We are 12 brothers," they say. "One is no more, and the youngest is at home with our father." Joseph tells them, "Bring the youngest one here, prove your honesty." He keeps Simeon as a hostage, sends the rest home with full sacks of grain, and a secret their payment returned in their bags. Fear follows them back to Canaan. When they discover the silver, they panic, and when they tell Jacob what happened, he trembles. "You want to take Benjamin? I've already lost Joseph, now Simeon is gone. Must I lose Benjamin too?" But the famine grows worse. The grain runs low, and Jacob, broken-hearted, says softly, "Go, take him. May God have mercy." So the brothers return, this time with Benjamin. And when Joseph sees him, his heart breaks open. He rushes away to weep, to breathe, to gather himself, because seeing Benjamin is like seeing home. He returns, feasts with them, treats them with kindness, but still hides who he is. Let that stay with you for a moment. Even when we long to reveal ourselves, sometimes we must wait for the right time, for the right heart. Part 8. The final test. Joseph has one more question left in his heart. Have they changed? So he prepares a final test. Before his brothers leave, he secretly hides his silver cup, his personal treasure, inside Benjamin's sack. The brothers set off, grateful, unaware. But soon Joseph sends his steward after them. The men are stopped, accused, confused. They search the bags, and there in Benjamin's sack, the cup is found. The brothers tear their clothes in grief. They return, fall before Joseph, and plead. He tells them, Benjamin must stay. The rest of you go home. But Judah steps forward. The same Judah who once said, let's sell him, now says, take me instead. Let the boy go back to our father. If he doesn't return, our father will die from sorrow. And there it is, sacrifice, change, love. Joseph hears it, feels it, and something inside him can't stay hidden anymore. He sends everyone else out. The room empties, and then he weeps, loudly. The brothers stare in silence, and Joseph says, I am Joseph. They freeze, hearts stop. Is my father still alive? He asks. They cannot speak, but he comes close. Do not be afraid. What you meant for harm, God meant for good. Let that truth stay with you. Even what was meant to break you can become what builds you. Part 9. A family reunited. The silence breaks. The brothers begin to breathe again. They move closer, slowly, carefully. Joseph embraces Benjamin first. They cling to each other and weep. Then, one by one, he hugs his brothers, the ones who betrayed him, the ones who left him. But he holds no anger, only tears, only forgiveness. Word reaches Pharaoh, and Pharaoh is pleased. He offers wagons, food, and a message. Bring your father, bring everything. Come live here in safety. So the brothers return to Canaan, to Jacob. They stand before him, hesitant. Then they speak. Joseph is alive. He rules all of Egypt. Jacob doesn't believe it at first. His heart can't hold the weight of the words until he sees the wagons, until he sees the gifts. Then hope returns. It is enough, he says. My son is alive. I will go and see him before I die. And the journey begins. The father, the sons, the families, the flocks. A long road, but one filled with light. Let that image fill you now. A family torn apart now moves together, toward healing, toward peace. Because even after years of silence, reunion is still possible. Part 10. The dream fulfilled. The sun rises over Goshen, a land of green set apart for Jacob and his family. Joseph waits standing in royal robes, but his heart is just a son's. Then he sees them. The wagons, the faces, the father he thought he'd never see again. He runs to him, wraps his arms around him, and weeps, long and deep. Tears of every year they missed, of every prayer whispered in the dark. Jacob holds his son, now a man, now a ruler, now whole. Now I can die in peace, he says, because I have seen your face again. And the family settles in the land, together, safe. The famine continues, but they have what they need. They have each other. And Joseph the dreamer now sees clearly. The dreams were not about power. They were about purpose. They were about saving lives. He tells his brothers again softly, "You meant it for harm, but God meant it for good." Let that truth rest with you tonight. Your story may twist, it may wound, it may wander, but nothing is wasted. Every step can lead to healing. Every ending can hold new beginnings. Joseph forgave. Jacob found peace. The brothers were restored. And through it all, God was never absent. As you close your eyes, remember, you are not forgotten. You are not too far gone. You are part of a bigger story. Sleep now, dreamer. You are safe. You are loved. And morning is always coming.